Breaking news that could put $2,200 directly into your pocket. The Senate has just approved groundbreaking legislation that millions of Americans have been waiting for. But will you qualify for this instant stimulus refund? What if I told you that money could be in your account within days of applying? The details of this new law might surprise you, and the qualification requirements are different from previous stimulus programs. Stay with me because I'm about to break down exactly how this works, who qualifies, and the fastest way to secure your payment. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and notification bell right now so you never miss these critical updates that could literally put thousands of dollars in your bank account. The economic landscape continues to evolve at a rapid pace, and this latest development represents one of the most significant financial relief measures we've seen in recent months. After weeks of intense negotiations and mounting public pressure, Congress has finally reached a consensus on a targeted stimulus refund designed to provide immediate financial support to households still feeling the economic squeeze. In addition to the core message, experts are already analyzing the potential long-term benefits of this program, emphasizing its role in stabilizing local economies. Unlike previous broad-based stimulus payments, this refund program takes a more targeted approach by focusing on specific economic factors that may have impacted your financial situation over the past year. What makes this stimulus refund different from previous payments is the mechanism through which it's being distributed. Rather than automatically sending checks to all taxpayers under certain income thresholds, this program requires an application process that has been streamlined specifically to ensure rapid processing and disbursement. The legislation includes funding for dramatically expanded processing capacity with the stated goal of reviewing applications and issuing payments within 7 to 10 business days, a time frame that experts say could set a new standard for government efficiency. This expedited timeline represents a significant departure from the weeks or even months many Americans waited for previous stimulus payments, and analysts believe it may encourage further policy innovations. The qualification parameters for this refund have been carefully calibrated to reach those most in need of economic support. Individuals earning less than $75,000 annually and married couples filing jointly with incomes below $150,000 form the core eligibility group, with partial payments available for those slightly above these thresholds. However, there are additional qualifying factors that could increase your payment amount based on specific financial circumstances experienced during the past year. Have you faced unexpected medical expenses, education costs, or housing challenges? These factors could potentially increase your refund amount beyond the base payment, and policy advisors are now urging individuals to review their personal financial records thoroughly. Many viewers have been asking exactly how much money they could receive through this program, and while the headline figure of $2,200 represents the maximum payment for qualifying individuals, the actual amount varies based on several factors, including income level, household size, and specific financial hardships documented in your application. For example, households with dependents may receive additional amounts per qualifying dependent regardless of age, a significant change from previous stimulus measures that often excluded adult dependents. Additionally, those who can demonstrate specific economic hardships may qualify for supplemental payments beyond the base amount. The application process itself has been designed with accessibility and speed in mind. According to the newly enacted legislation, eligible Americans will be able to apply through multiple channels, including an online portal, mobile application, phone system, and even in person at designated government offices. This multi-channel approach aims to ensure that all eligible individuals, regardless of technological access or comfort level, can successfully navigate the application process, while new advisory programs are set to further guide applicants through each step. But what documentation will you need to have ready when applying? Having the right paperwork prepared in advance could be the difference between receiving your payment promptly or facing frustrating delays. Based on the information released so far, applicants should be prepared to provide basic identification information, tax filing status, and documentation of any qualifying financial hardships they've experienced, This might include medical bills, housing payment records, education expenses, or evidence of reduced income for those claiming additional amounts for dependents. Verification of dependent status will also be required, and officials stress that accuracy is critical. The good news is that much of this information can be submitted electronically, streamlining the process significantly compared to previous government assistance programs that often required extensive paperwork and in-person visits. The funding mechanism behind this stimulus refund program represents another interesting aspect of the legislation. Rather than adding to the national deficit, lawmakers have identified specific revenue sources to cover the projected $380 billion cost of the program. These include temporary adjustments to corporate tax provisions, reallocation of previously approved but unspent funds from earlier relief packages, and enhanced enforcement of existing tax laws targeting high-income tax avoidance. This funding approach was crucial in securing bipartisan support for the legislation, addressing concerns about fiscal responsibility while still providing meaningful economic relief. And experts note that these measures might also set precedents for future fiscal policies. The economic impact of this program extends beyond just the individuals receiving payments. Economic analysts predict significant stimulative effects as these funds circulate through local economies. Small businesses, particularly in retail, food service, and personal services sectors, could see substantial revenue increases as recipients use their refunds for both necessary expenses and discretionary spending, which might spur further job creation and economic stability in struggling regions. Have you thought about how you might use your potential refund? Whether paying down debt, covering essential expenses, or finally making that purchase you've been putting off, your spending decisions collectively with millions of other Americans will shape the economic impact of this program. Implementation timelines have been clearly outlined in the legislation, with the application system scheduled to go live within 30 days of enactment. This means eligible Americans could begin submitting applications by early next month, with the first wave of payments potentially arriving in bank accounts by mid-month, a schedule that officials and financial advisors are watching closely. Officials have emphasized that direct deposit will significantly accelerate payment delivery compared to physical checks. So ensuring your banking information is correctly provided during the application process is crucial for receiving your refund as quickly as possible. For those concerned about potential fraud or security issues, the legislation includes substantial funding for enhanced security measures throughout the application and distribution process. Multi-factor authentication will be required for online applications, and sophisticated verification systems will cross-reference application information with existing government databases to confirm eligibility. These security measures aim to prevent the fraud issues that plague some early relief programs, while still maintaining the streamlined application process necessary for rapid distribution. And cybersecurity experts are confident that these protocols will significantly reduce risk. Critics of the program have raised questions about its targeted nature, suggesting that the application requirement might create barriers for those most in need of assistance. In response, proponents point to the multiple application channels and simplified requirements as evidence of their commitment to accessibility, and community leaders are already planning outreach initiatives to help bridge any gaps. Additionally, the legislation includes funding for community outreach programs specifically designed to assist vulnerable populations in successfully navigating the application process. Local nonprofit organizations, libraries, and community centers are expected to participate in these outreach efforts, providing hands-on assistance to those who might otherwise struggle with the application process. Looking at the broader economic context, this stimulus refund comes at a time when economic indicators have shown mixed signals. While employment figures have gradually improved, many households continue to face financial pressures from rising costs in essential categories like housing, food, and healthcare. The targeted nature of this program aims to address these specific pain points by directing resources toward those experiencing ongoing financial challenges rather than distributing payments universally, a strategic move that analysts believe could serve as a model for future relief initiatives. However, whether this approach will effectively reach all those in need remains one of the key questions as implementation begins. The political journey of this legislation offers interesting insights into the current state of governance. After months of seeming gridlock, the bill's passage with bipartisan support suggests a potential shift toward more collaborative approaches on economic issues. Several key compromises shaped the final legislation, including the targeted eligibility requirements, specific funding mechanisms, and robust oversight provisions. These compromises enable the bill to secure sufficient votes from both parties, though not without significant debate and amendment during the legislative process, and political scientists are now closely examining these changes for their long-term implications. For those wondering about potential tax implications, the legislation explicitly states that these stimulus refunds will not be considered taxable income for federal purposes. This means recipients won't face unexpected tax bills related to these payments when filing their returns next year, a relief that many had feared with previous benefit programs. However, individual state tax treatment may vary, so it's worth researching how your specific state handles federal stimulus payments to avoid surprises during tax season. As with any major government program, implementation challenges are anticipated. Despite extensive planning, officials have acknowledged that the ambitious timeline could face obstacles, particularly if application volume significantly exceeds projections in the early phases. Contingency plans include phased application windows based on birth month or last name if necessary to manage system capacity, though the stated preference is to maintain an open application system if technically feasible. These potential adjustments highlight the balance between speed and system stability that administrators must navigate, and policy analysts are closely monitoring these developments for signs of success or needed improvements. Consumer advocates have already begun publishing guidance for potential applicants, emphasizing several key recommendations to improve chances of prompt processing. These include gathering necessary documentation in advance, ensuring personal information matches exactly across all submitted materials, and applying during off-peak hours to avoid potential system slowdowns. Additionally, experts strongly recommend enabling account notifications to receive prompt updates about application status and any requests for additional information that might otherwise delay processing. If you found this update helpful, please take a moment to like this video and share it with friends and family who might benefit from this information. Drop a comment below with your questions about the stimulus refund program, and I'll do my best to address them in upcoming videos. Most importantly, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss these critical updates that could put thousands of dollars in your pocket. This expanded update not only informs you about the immediate benefits of the program, but also provides deeper insight into how these measures could shape future economic policies and community support initiatives. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with the very latest on this developing story.